And we're back on Lovin Daily today. We've got a very special guest. We've got Hili, the winner of the recent season of X Factor Malta. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, we wanted to bring you in and speak to you a little bit because obviously Malta, a lot of our readers were following your story and it was quite an inspirational story. But before we get into the details, let's go back to the moment you won. Everyone was watching and it kind of looked like even you were surprised that you had been named the winner. So take me through the moment that you actually were named the winner.
So basically, before we went on stage, we were saying to each other, we're in the top 3, whatever the result is, it's good that we're here. So in my mind, I was saying to myself, I mean, you're here, you're actually in the top 3, so whatever the result, I'm gonna be happy. And then when he said my name, things were starting. I mean, I couldn't even believe what I heard. So it was a hectic, like 5 minutes, and then things started to like fall into place. And I mean, it was a very happy moment.
So I mean, how did you feel like you had performed well that evening?
I think that I saved a lot of energy for the final night. When we were working, me and Howard, I think we saved a little bit of Ryan that no one had seen before. So I think that in the final even for us, I mean, it was the last time that we were going to perform on that stage. So I think that all the energy we had, we transmitted it that night. So
I agree. I mean, I think something that a lot of people were attracted to in your story was kind of your personality. You know, a lot of people have described you as very humble. You show a lot of humility. I think a lot of people describe you as a sweet person. So we had understood that, you know, your friends kind of pushed you to even enter the competition, right? So you went from someone who didn't even maybe want to enter the competition, or maybe you didn't have the confidence in yourself, to becoming the winner. You know, did you build confidence throughout the show? What was the process to take you from someone who wasn't even sure if they're going to enter the competition to winning it?
I think the process was very long, but it really helped me build my confidence in a way that from a shy person, I went to being, let's say, an artistic person. Of course, in the audition, I was scared. I was very scared. I mean, performing in front of 4 big, huge people in the music industry is very scary. But it helped me in the other phases. So I was already like, I knew what I was going to find in front of me, especially in the church challenge and in boot camp as well. So once I went on stage for the rehearsal in the church challenge, I was terrified. I was shaking, and I said to myself, if I'm shaking in front of these few people in front of me, what am I going to do in front of the whole audience during the actual night? But when the actual night came and I performed, I went on stage in front of all those people, the excitement went away.
Amazing.
And I knew that it's my place. So that really helped me boost my confidence.
How did you feel on stage in the final night?
In the final night, I mean, the audience the number of people was big.
They had the placards, Hili, people were chanting your name.
I had the in-ears, and from the in-ears, I was also hearing my name like before performing. But I started to calm down, and then obviously, once the song is ready, I take off my in-ears, and I really enjoy like hearing the other people like shout my name. So it's a roller coaster of emotions.
So you mentioned boot camp, you mentioned the church challenge. How far did you expect to make it yourself? Like when you entered and they said, okay, you're invited, you're going to be part of this. How far did you realistically think you're going to go?
I used to believe that I can sing, but I didn't actually believe that I can go to the live shows. So when I went through boot camp, and they told us that I'm going to be in the chair challenge, that I was going to be one of the boys. After the chair challenge, then I said to myself, I can actually go through the live shows because the response was big. I also had a standing ovation, so that really helped me like push myself further to actually go to the live shows. And I think once I entered the live shows, I mean, all the 12 of us, we were incredible. So we worked a lot, I worked a lot, and I believed in myself that I can make it through. And of course,
And you did.
I did.
So have you always been musical? You know, do you remember the first time you were singing? Is it something you've always done? Is it something more recent?
This was actually my first time on stage.
Wow.
I mean, the chair challenge was my first time on stage.
Are you like singing in the shower? Are you like one of those?
Exactly. I used to. I released two songs earlier, but obviously this was the main big project which I had in mind. I mean, the X Factor. I always wanted to enter X Factor since I was young. So when season 1 was announced, I was like, let's see how it's gonna go. Maybe I will enter next year. Then next year came and I decided, okay, so let me hold back and maybe next year. Then the next year came and it stopped. Malta's Got Talent came, and so I decided not to enter Malta's Got Talent. And then I said to myself, if X Factor season 3 comes, I have to enter, because it's a sign that I have to enter. And it came. So I went for it.
So, you know, I'd seen some of your stories, and you mentioned, you know, some of the people that inspired you. You mentioned your father as well.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about the inspiration that your father brought to you.
So my father died 3 years ago. It was very fast. In 1 month, he had a stroke. On my mother's birthday.
Wow, Jesus Christ.
On that day, and we actually buried him on my birthday. So it was very hard. So it made me realize that we only live once. We know that we're here today, but tomorrow we don't. So if we actually have to do something which we love, we have to do it now. And 25 years passed since obviously I applied. So I decided to just go for it, because you'll just live with regrets if you don't.
That's super mature of you. Listen, Ryan, I think a lot of people are inspired by your story. You know, like I said before, you were a guy that a lot of people might have seen not as the winner at first. Someone who's a little bit shy, a little bit lacking of confidence, and then you ended up taking the stage, impressing the entire nation with your voice, a powerful voice, as well as your personality. Any up-and-coming singers watching this who might, you know, sing in the shower, maybe sing when no one's listening, and they saw your story and they're feeling, oh wow, listen, this guy showed that if you have the confidence and the voice and the talent and the dedication, you can really do it. What would you tell them?
So everyone goes through a lot in life. Everyone has a lot of barriers holding them back. I believe that if you really want to do something, you just have to go for it. Whatever the comments, whatever the reactions people have, you just have to go for it. The only thing you have to do is just try. And if it goes well, I mean, that's a bonus. You just have to try, because you'll just live with regrets, and that's the honestly something that you should not do.
Ryan, where can people find you and what's the next step for you?
So basically, I'm on social media, obviously. I have a Facebook page and an Instagram page at Ryan Hili. Now, we have some projects coming up. We have one major project which I'm very looking forward to.
Okay, all right. Short term, long term, medium term, this year, next year?
I think it's gonna happen this year.
Cool.
It's gonna happen this year. But I'm very looking forward to my music career just going on. And that's basically why I entered X Factor, to obviously learn, grow from it, and move forward.
Well, Ryan, listen, you've already impressed the country with your voice and your personality. We're going to be following your story here. And once again, thanks for coming in and giving a message to young singers. Guys, if you want to find out more about Ryan Hili, follow him on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Ryan Hili. You'll see him. You'll definitely be seeing more of him in the coming months and years. That brings us to the end of today's episode. For myself and the Lovin Malta team, have an evening full of lovin'.
Thank you.